Actually, guys, can you give me 1 minute? Can I take that call?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Mike and I are ready to do this podcast with Gerald, and he walks away. Too big, too important for talking to Mike and I. I get it. It's good to be the Gerald, I guess, but
All right, sorry about that.
no problem.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Squat Cobbler. I'm Dr. Mike. You can find me at Official Pagan on everything. Joining me, as always.
Hi, everybody. This is Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram, and we are extremely excited to have back. We're still working on the count, but we think this is the third or fourth time in different iterations of podcasts she's joined us. Allison Victoria-Wolfe is joining us. Hi, Allison.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Mike. Hey, Kelly. It's good to hear from you guys.
It's great to hear you too.
Hear from you guys? Is that the most awkward thing?
No. I think I was stepping over Mike. That's why I paused, because he's usually quiet, doesn't say anything in the podcast.
I'm a humble man. I just stand in the background and let Kelly take the wheel.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do, Dr. Mike. So we probably should clarify that for you, because I know you're probably a little surprised to hear that Mike's a doctor. He bought his way into the profession. Mike,
I was going to say, is that a legitimate thing? Like,
sort
how
of.
did you do that?
Sort of in the most generous sense.
Okay, I have to hear the story.
So, I mean, it's pretty simple. I'm a doctor now.
That's not the story.
I mean, hey, okay, there you go. Well, congratulations, Dr. Mike. Thanks for having me on.
You know what? I worked hard for it. I put my time in, just like anybody else in the medical profession. So if anybody out there is listening is looking for, cheaper medical care, and you don't mind signing a waiver beforehand.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
Dr. Mike.
Yeah. So perhaps I could help explain this a little further. Let's say if you were a juggler, you would put a sign in front of your house saying, "I'm a juggler." And then at some point you sold your house, your juggling house, and went somewhere else, and Mike bought it. Then Mike starts walking around saying he's a juggler. So that's kind of how he might have bought a facility that was formerly a doctor's office.
I feel like this is like a Lucy on the Peanuts gang. Like, the psychiatrist is in. Was it Lucy? Who was the one?
She was a psychiatrist. That is not Mike's profession. I do not think that.
No, I'm a medical doctor.
Okay. Well, there we go. I love it.
I now live in what was once a doctor's office. Creepily enough, I recently found out this when my mom was a kid was her family's doctor.
No.
Yeah, so this is in this doctor's office that I live in, so that's weird.
That's actually really cool. That is really cool.
But there's still the big light up sign and stuff outside. So I'm a doctor.
I love it.
Also, so this is a good way to segue in. Kelly loves it when we go off on tangents.
I love it.
Loves it. So this is a good way to segue into our first tangent. This very week, I received my first of what I hope to be many sample packs from a medical company. Addressed to the current owner of this medical facility, which happens to be me.
So legally they're yours. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, right? Oh my God.
So I'm hoping to get some more of these, and then maybe on like future Squat Cobblers, we can do recommendations, and I can recommend these products.
It's like free promotion. I love it. I get it.
It works for Dr. Oz. I mean, what's the difference?
Oh my God. I knew I missed you guys.
Yeah. Pharmaceutical loot crate, basically. You'll be able to kind of open it up. And
oh my God, that's great. That's what we need to call those episodes.
Mike's. That could be.
I'm like crying laughing. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I missed you guys.
We've missed you too. Is it out of your system, Mike? Got anything else? Can we
I'm sure I'll take this off on another tangent
it'll-
somewhere
it'll-
down the line.
It'll happen. So, for historians of the various podcasts, you'll know that we ran across Allison first in Swamp Shark when she was Girl on Boat or Girl in Boat, which wasn't a boat, it was more of a deck.
I don't even know why they called it that, but yeah, exactly.
But
You know what's strange to me is I was trying to think, preparing for this episode today,
Yes.
what the first thing we saw you in was, and I knew your character was called Girl on Boat, but I couldn't remember the movie, but I remembered Girl on Boat.
Which is funny because it's like there's this beautiful girl that's in the scene right in front of mine who's actually in a boat, and I'm like, but yes, I am girl on boat in Swamp Shark. Which, by the way, is it not? Is it still Shark Week or was it not? Because I know that they play Swamp Shark during Swamp Week. Swamp. That's not right. Shark Week.
I don't think it's yet. I think it's soon, but
Yeah.
I really feel bad that I don't know, because Sci-Fi still rolls out a series of either some of the older movies that they did on those themes or some new ones as well. But I'll have to check. I think it's like in the next week or two. Zombie Tidal Wave is going to be one of the movies for Shark Week, so that'll be a keeper. So without a doubt,
I'm in.
But like with several of the folks that we've had on the podcast, Allison was, as you can already tell, super cool. And that evening, she was very, very cool as we started to interact as back in the day when all the Snarkalics would get on and treated. And she was interacting with the whole gang and having a lot of fun. And so then we had her on the podcast, and the rest is history. And then Allison's life took interesting turns. And I was sitting at home one day when they were announcing the group of folks that were going to be on the next Worst Cooks in America, and lo and behold, there was Allison. They said your name, and I looked and I go, well, that's Allison. And you had a rooting crew for you the whole time through. So really appreciate you joining us today. Wanted to kind of just talk about, whatever you can talk about that. I find it super interesting. So you won. So first of all, that had to be fun, I assume.
That was amazing. I mean, to that day, I don't think I've ever, first of all, I've never won anything huge in my life. Like, I finally won bingo for the first time recently, but I mean, to win $25,000 is like, it was one of the best days of my life. Very stressful, but one of the best days.
And what I was real impressed with was quite the cast of interesting characters. Very different people. All seemed incredibly nice, but everybody kind of brought a little bit of different things to the table.
Yeah.
So what was it like when you guys all kind of got together the first time? Was it?
I think that was probably one of my favorite things. Because, I mean, we're all sitting in this basement of this hotel, which makes it sound really cool. So we're sitting there and we're all kind of like sizing each other up. And then someone goes, I think we're going to be friends. And I mean, like, we automatically gelled, which I think we were all waiting to be like, well, do I really like this person? And I mean, truthfully, we all loved each other. And I thought that was so neat. It's like to this day, we all still talk, which is incredible. And I mean, I know I can count on any of my former castmates. And I just think that's really, really cool. Still waiting for that. Do we really like each other? But yeah, we really, really do.
Yeah. And so I'm a big fan and follow all your stuff. I'm sure Mike's not familiar with any of this, so I'll probably have to ask most of the questions. But I don't.
See how you picked on me?
What's that?
Bullying is not cool, Kelly.
So I'm gonna Food Network nerd out on you a little bit here, Mike. Sorry, but I just got to hit Allison up with a bunch of these questions. So Brett, oh my, big guy.
Are you as obsessed with him as I am?
Probably not quite, or maybe in a different way. But he's hilarious. And you two seem to, because it came down towards the end. It was on the one team. It became down to you and him. And he's Mike. He's I guess I would describe him as a bodybuilder. He's a massive guy, just simply huge, but very funny.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, he is Arnold Schwarzenegger's body double. So, I mean, he has Arnold Schwarzenegger's, like, exact measurements. So, picture him 6'3" and, like, 5'5", 5'6" me. I mean, it was quite the pair, I will say.
And he got better. I mean, all y'all did as time went by on that. What was the hardest part of doing that?
I think the hardest part was a lot of them, like Brett is an incredibly fast learner. And a lot of the people on both the teams are like, okay, they see it once, they get it. And that's just not my learning style. Like, it takes me a little while, like, to kind of get everything. So, I mean, everyone was picking up things a lot faster than I was. And so I think that was the hardest thing, like seeing all of their progress so, so quickly, and then to still be the one that's chugging along, and I'm back in the bottom, and then chugging along, and then I'm back in the bottom, and finally Brett came up to me and he's like, honey, you've got this. And I think like just that little bit of confidence, that was right before the pie episode. And I won the pie episode, which was my first win at Worst Cooks. And I think I just needed him being like, knock it off. You got this. Like, you got this, that kind of thing. So it was probably the hardest, was not being able to progress as quickly as everyone else.
Now, not to cut in on Kelly's fanboy parade, but
I mean, you can. This man's beautiful. But go ahead.
I think she's talking about Brett. I know it's confusing, Mike, but go ahead.
Now, what was the process like of getting on the show? Was it something that, did you go to auditions for it? Did you have to submit a tape for it? Did they actually try your cooking in advance?
Yeah, actually, that's a really great question. To get on the show.
Thank you.
Get it, Mike. Get it, Mike. Get it, Dr. Mike. No, actually, that's a really great question. To get on the show, you actually had to apply. And so it's really funny. It's a really quick, really funny story. I'm literally in the bathtub, and like, I'm a mom of 3 now. Like, by the way, when we first met, no children. And now I have 3 children, which is crazy. But so I'm a mom of 3. And so I never have any time to myself. And so my daughters join me in the tub, and I know it's literally like the last day, or like the second to last day to apply. And I mean, I knew I wanted to cook. I've had so many, like, one of those come to Jesus moments where it's like, you have to learn. And my husband goes, no, you just got to do this. And I'm like, well, I have to make a video, and I don't want to put on makeup, and I don't want to. He's like, no, just be you. And he threw a bathing suit to me, and I threw a bathing suit to my daughter. And we did like a 2-minute video. And like, in this, I'm like dripping with sweat. I mean, the most unattractive thing you can think of. As I'm like, hi guys, this is me. And I guess, they thought it was really funny. So the next day they called me and they asked me to make a cheese souffle recipe, because I don't eat cheese. Like, it's gross. And so I really took it seriously, and I had my fanny pack because I don't go anywhere without it. And they cracked up and they're like, are you serious with this thing? And I'm like, yeah. And so I think they liked the fanny pack, and, a couple, interviews later, and I was on the show.
So for any aspiring TV stars out there, fanny pack is really what they need to take away from this. Now,
any color fanny pack. Yes.
Nice. And so I hate to take this show. It's been so fun and so lighthearted up until this point. And I hate to kind of touch on something like a serious social political issue like this, but where did your anti-cheese stance come from?
That is very serious, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed. No, it really is. Honestly, I choked on a piece of cheese when I was little, and I think like that memory like got ingrained into me. And I mean, I used to love cheese when I was like 3, and then I haven't eaten it since. Like, I once turned down queso. Well, first of all, like, poor college kid, I turned down $150 to try some queso. Like, that's how much I don't like cheese. I know, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and I'm not poor, and I'm pretty sure I'd still take $150 to do almost anything.
Yeah, right.
That's you, Mike, though. But by the way, folks listening at home, on the Squat Cobbler t-shirt rack coming available soon, I choked on a piece of cheese when I was little. Will be coming out as one of our newest t-shirts, so that is awesome.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I hope I'm not laughing too loud because I love you guys. Go ahead.
There's the big personalities in a good way, but big personalities on the contestant side, and certainly the teachers, the lead chefs, Ann and Tyler, are not small in personality either. Is that pretty much? I mean, I'm sure anytime you're projecting on a show, you amp it up a little bit, but are you pretty much seeing kind of how they roll and how they interact with you guys on the show? Is how they just rolled when you're on break, just talking about stuff?
Yes. I mean, that's what's amazing about them. What you see is what you get. And they are honestly Chef Ann is incredibly intense, but that woman is so incredible. I mean, she knows her stuff, and all she wants to do is teach. So, I mean, yeah, she's very, very strict and very, intense. But I mean, her students learn so quickly. And I think that that's just her. And I mean, Tyler is definitely that laid back. I don't know if he's from California, but he reminds me of just like a California, like, what's up, guys? Let's be friends. Let's do this. And so, I mean, it was really, really cool. And I mean, getting to talk to them like behind the scenes was awesome. I mean, that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity to meet such amazing chefs that are so talented and so respected in their fields. So, yep, they're just like they seem on TV. They're like,
and that's actually, it's really refreshing to hear that. So I was briefly a baker a
No.
long time ago. And I remember watching like cooking shows and stuff on TV and then looking up like the people on the shows and finding out, of course, they're just actors. They have no cooking background. They have no. And then as I got into some film production work, I'm not going to say the people's names or the names of the shows, but you can easily find them. There was two people that I worked with who were on really famous reality TV shows.
Okay.
So I knew firsthand, like, those were completely staged and that those weren't the people's personalities. They weren't even their real names on the shows, nothing like that. So it's exciting from both perspectives of sort of having knowledge of shows like that and also a little bit of cooking to hear that it was, you know, these are the real people's personalities. You guys were really there doing that.
Yeah, I mean, none of it was staged. I think that's the biggest misconception was none of that was staged. They weren't like, okay, in episode 7, I need you to burn your finger and say this. I mean, it was not staged. And so everything that you saw really happened. And what's great is Kat, who's on my team, the Rock and Red Stars, she was the biggest Chef Ann fan. And I mean, when she left, I mean, she was eliminated episode 5, I think. And I mean, when she left, she was like, I met my idol and I wasn't disappointed. So I think that kind of pays tribute to what good people they are. Yeah, but no, none of it was staged at all.
Like you said, you had a big rooting crew for you back at our place all the way through. There was just only one time in the entire series where I was like, really, Allison? Really? How could you do that? And it was right towards the very end where you were having to identify ingredients. And Brett had it down. He knew they were pepper flakes. And he was like, it was just so hilarious because his expressions, he wears his emotions on his face a little bit, and he's like, I know these are pepper flakes, and you weren't having it. And
do you know the Twitter outrage that I received from the pepper flake incident? Like, it became an incident. I'm not even joking on Twitter.
That's a great band. That's a great band name, the Pepper Flake Incident.
It was, I mean, and rightfully so. It's like, I feel so stupid watching that and being like, it honestly, like, if you looked at it, it is so obviously a pepper flake. Like, I think I was just trying to really show my skills, and I should have just listened to Brett. I mean, oh God, to this day, he will not let me live it down, which I think is
he was very cool about it because you could tell he's like, no, this is a pepper flake, and you're like, no, it's not. And he eventually said, okay. Yeah, it was funny.
It so obviously was. I mean, that's what's so sad. So again, I would just like to publicly apologize to Brett for the pepper flake incident. You were right, and I was wrong, and I apologize.
The country will heal. So.
Yes, eventually. God.
So Twitter's an interesting place full of interesting people.
Yes.
I think you get what you give out a lot to a degree, and you're such an incredibly positive person. And based on at least what I could see, by and large, it seemed like it was people were pretty cool. I mean, there's always going to be somebody out there who's not great and going to have some things, but it seemed to me overall that there was a pretty strong Twitter community interested in this and supportive, absent maybe pepper flake incidents.
Absolutely. And what's awesome was like we trended for days after, which I thought was really cool. Like people were talking about it like the Monday and the Tuesday after, which I don't think a lot of shows have. So I thought that was really, really cool. I mean, considering, the shows we were going against. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there were some people that were not Team Allison, and you know what? I don't blame them. I mean, that you can't have everybody like you. And so I feel like I understand, why they were, Team Brett, or they were Team Carmel, or, all that stuff, or Team Brittany, who's amazing. I absolutely love her. So I can understand it.
Now, when, especially on a show like that, like I'm sure you've seen things about yourself from other projects you've been involved in, but especially on an ongoing and competitive show like that, where you do have people picking sides, do you ever get caught up in like reading the comments and things like that? Or do you just skim them, or do you get like deeply into it?
I got really into it, which I really shouldn't have, because, okay, first of all, as you guys know, I have like a huge overbite, which apparently was really interesting to people because, like, I guess a lot of people don't have an overbite. So I think reading about my teeth and how I should have paid for adult braces, it's like, guys, I was in braces like my entire life. So I mean, I think that was like the only comment that kind of hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of them had. It was so funny because I didn't. Okay, this is horrible. Like, did I troll a little bit? Yes. In a positive way, because I'm a very positive person. So like if someone was like, oh, Allison, it's a stinky pants or whatever. I'd write and I'd be like, you know what? But I did this to fix that. And what was funny was every single person that wrote a negative comment turned around and was like, oh my God, I'm actually really rooting for you. I didn't realize. Like, I don't think that they thought of us as real people, you know, because it's the same when I watch reality shows. I'm like, oh, I don't like that person, but it's a real person. And I think it's so easy to forget that and just tweet about what you think. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought it was really, really interesting. And, you know, it was so funny because all of them were like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I really am just so excited you're talking to me. That kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, by the way, and I had braces. It was like for 12 years. So no,
Good times.
I'm done.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were aware, but Mike's original podcast name was Dr. Stinky Pants, and he
No.
and he went with that for a long time. It's only recently that he's become Dr. Mike. But if you can go back, do some searches on Dr. Stinky Pants, and you'll see a lot of Mike's earlier work, which is kind of special.
Oh, that's so funny. No, I didn't know that.
It's a fact.
I love it. I love it.
Kelly and his rumor starting.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, no.
I know. I'll be calling him Dr. Stinky Pants from here on out. So.
Is that going to be available in the T-shirt as Dr. Stinky Pants and the cheese? Is that were two new T-shirts?
That'll be the band. There you go.
Dr. Stinky Pants and the cheese. I would be in that band.
Early in the show, so they were kind of wanting to establish, hey, these people are cooking challenged, and we're giving examples for each. And you provided an example to kind of cement, I could use some assistance. And Twitter exploded when
oh
this
my
came
God,
up.
so did they. Oh God. Yes, I am the breast milk omelets girl. And I'm telling you, okay.
Yet another T-shirt. But go ahead.
It's like, I ate Allison's breast milk omelets and I survived. Oh, even better. I ate Allison's breast milk omelets and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
There you go.
Coin it. But no, you know, what's funny is we eat a ton of eggs in our house. Like my husband is obsessed with them. And so I like making scrambled eggs. And so it's scrambled eggs to me were the same as an omelet, which I learned on the show. They're not the same thing. So pretty much it's breast milk scrambled eggs. Cause like, you know, you add milk to kind of make it fluffier.
Well, that's perfectly normal now. It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
What's funny is, you know, like I was a cow when I had these babies and I had so much extra milk and I didn't want it to go bad. So I was like, and I put it in there and it didn't taste horrible. Like would I have it again? No, but it wasn't horrible. And I fed it to my husband. He did not appreciate it. He appreciated it.
Did you tell him in advance?
I didn't. We like playing tricks on each other. So I fed it to him and I was like, how would he think? He's like, yeah, not bad, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's breast milk. And he was like, no. And oh, it was amazing. But yes, he ate my breast milk omelets and he liked them.
So where's he live these days?
I know. He's somewhere down the street. I don't know.
Yeah, we stay in touch, but it's a good thing. Yeah, it was funny to watch Twitter kind of.
Well, what was so funny was, so they see me shaking the milk bag in the previews. So everyone was like, she did it. She brought the breast milk. But I will say, Food Network is very right in not allowing me to bring breast milk because that is unsanitary and unsafe. So they were very right in saying.
Was there like a pitched battle over this? Were you saying, I'm bringing my breast milk, damn it?
Well, they were like, okay, but do you have anything else you can make? Because they were like, I don't think our chefs want to try your breast milk. No offense. So, you know, I lost that battle, but it was okay. It was okay in the end.
Mike, any follow-up questions?
A lot, but...
You didn't know 7 years later, 8 years later, you'd be talking about my breast milk, did you, Dr. Mike?
You know, if I had a nickel for every time...
Actually, the number of breast milk related episodes we've done is quite surprising. How about other projects? What else you got going on?
Well, actually, okay, ironically, back when we first did, I don't know if it was our first or second podcast, I was writing a screenplay. And what's great with that is it's actually in pre-production. Like, I have done so much work over it over the last couple years. And I mean, you guys, it's amazing. I can't give too much away, but I can say some of the cast is absolutely incredible. Like Travis Caldwell, you'll know him from The Gates. He's on a new series on Netflix called Woo Assassins. He's amazing. Look him up. He plays my brother. And James Preston, he was also on The Gates. He's been in, he's played James Dean. I mean, this guy's incredible. He plays my love interest. you know. And then we also have some really big name I mean, not that they're not big name. Oh my gosh, they're gonna hate me for that. But we have Nick Nicholson, who just happens to be Jack Nicholson's nephew. He's playing the thug in our movie. And Lorelai Linkletter, who's Richard Linkletter's daughter, is playing one of the characters as well. So it's incredible. It's in pre-production. We should be filming it soon. And so finally, it's, you know, I guess 7 years later, it's coming into fruition. And I think it'll be really, really neat.
Now, I do have to interject here because
Yes.
on Kelly's behalf, because he's not going to do it for himself.
Yes.
So Kelly has started dabbling in acting a little bit now.
No.
Yes. So
Can
is there
Kelly do
any
a walk-on
way
role?
that he could? Oh, he needs to. If there's any way that we can get him in this film,
I will do everything in my power because Kelly has been my friend. I want to say our friend anniversary is coming up. I would
I
say
think
we've
so,
been
soon.
friends for, I want to say 8-9 years now.
I think it'll be
8 years.
Yep, I think that's close. That's really close.
Oh my gosh. Happy anniversary, Kelly.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Yes. I will do everything in my power to get you in this movie. That would be incredible.
Well, fortunately, I have an IMDb page. What Mike neglects to mention is my acting, air quotes, involved. He has a band, as you may recall. He's in a band called
Yes,
Pagan.
absolutely.
And he put together a film for Amazon Prime called Our Summer Vacation. And
Okay.
so there's another band called Psychotica who had gotten back together and were doing a tour in Spain. And so you get some amazing footage of them. You get some footage of Mike and Pagan in Central or
Yes.
South America. And then you get the Snark Alex, the people you know. We try and get together annually. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. One year we all got together in Atlanta and we shot a lot of film there. And so that's where I make a few of my appearances there. And it's on Amazon Prime. It's called Our Summer Vacation. It was what in some very small, narrow subcategory was #1. So
No, that's awesome.
yeah, it was #1 on Amazon Prime. Kelly is downplaying his accomplishments here because he's a humble man. But yeah, Kelly was #1 on Amazon Prime.
Kelly, that's amazing.
yeah. I carried it just like I carry Pagan these days. You know, I can make an appearance or two and take their, you know, they're like clay I mold into. So,
But yeah, if there's any way that we can get Kelly a small role in this, that
Believe
would be
me, I will
incredible.
make it happen. Just you wait. This will be incredible.
what you need to do is tweak the script a little bit to say, hey, there's this really annoying podcast duo that talks to one of the characters, and then Mike and I can simply play ourselves, and it would be
That would be fantastic. Oh, I would love that. I would really, really love that. You guys are stuck with me. You guys are stuck with me for another
there are
10
worse.
years.
There are
At least
there-
10 years.
That's no better news. Excellent. on that. So, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been fantastic to catch up. Keep us posted on progress as you get through pre-production stuff, because whenever we can start to help promote or generate interest for your script, your screenplay, we really want to let folks know about it. So
That would be amazing.
it sounds really cool, and you got a pretty fun group of folks you're working with there.
Yes, they're all incredible, and I'm so thank you guys for having me on the podcast. Like, I absolutely appreciate it. I would be back anytime. You snap your fingers when I'm here because I love both of you guys. So thank you.
Okay, careful what you say because we'll do it. So we'll be bringing you back. So that's all I've got for this week. Mike, any closing thoughts before we say goodbye to Allison?
Once again, anyone who needs questionable medical services, I'm here for you. And if you're making a film, Kelly's an actor now. So we're offering you so much more than our smooth, sultry voices on this podcast.
So on behalf of Allison and Dr. Stinky Pants, I'd like to say thanks for listening, everybody.
All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast.